Have you ever been in a desperate situation? There are moments in our lives when we face overwhelming circumstances and we're willing to do anything to overcome them. The story of Jairus, a respected synagogue leader who fell at Jesus' feet, pleading for the healing of his daughter, is a reminder of the desperation that grips us in moments like that. We can see today that same desperation in the lives of parents who watch their children fight for their lives against cancer and other illnesses. They turn to doctors and medical professionals hoping for a cure or a solution. This is where Jairus found himself. He had been struck by something completely unimaginable. His only daughter was dying. There's not much in this life that we face that's harder than to see a loved one sick, especially a child. You want to do something, you don't know what to do, and in moments like that, you'll try things that you haven't tried before. Desperate situations will cause us to do desperate things. And so to fully grasp the story of Jairus, you need to have a little context. The passage said he was a leader of a local synagogue, which meant what? He was a man of importance in society. He was respected. He was dignified. Yet in the face of his daughter's illness, all of that formality, it went away. What did Luke record? He came and he fell at Jesus' feet, pleading for Jesus to come home with him. This isn't something that a religious leader would do. They thought they were above this kind of action. They felt like they were above the common people. This passage is a powerful reminder that our prejudices and our formalities are stripped away in times of personal tragedy. We become like children crying out for help, crying out for comfort. Jairus, the ruler of the synagogue, was not immune to this desperation that comes when the life of a loved one is threatened. See, you got to remember the context of this story. Where is Jairus a leader? Capernaum. Mark 1 records Jesus healing in Capernaum. Mark 2 records Jesus healing in Capernaum. Mark 3 gets a little bit more interesting. You don't have to turn there. I'll have it here for you. Mark chapter 3, verse number 1 says this: Jesus went into the synagogue again and noticed a man with a deformed hand. This is in Capernaum. Since it was the Sabbath, Jesus' enemies watched him closely. If he healed the man's hand, they planned to accuse him of working on the Sabbath. Jesus said to the man with the deformed hand, Come and stand in front of everyone. Then he turned to his critics and asked, Does the law permit good deeds on the Sabbath, or is it a day for doing evil? Is this a day to save a life or to destroy it? But they would not answer him. He looked around at them angrily and was deeply saddened by their hard hearts. Then he said to the man, Hold out your hand. So the man held out his hand, and it was restored. At once the Pharisees went away and met with the supporters of Herod to plot how to kill Jesus. So Jairus was a leader of the local synagogue, where? Capernaum, which is the same place where Jesus performed many miracles. It's the same place that Jesus was closely watched by the leaders to see if he would do something that they could accuse him of. It's the same place where Jesus healed on the Sabbath, and it's the same place where the leaders plotted to destroy him. Now, fast forward, if you were reading this story in Mark, just 2 chapters later, Jairus, a leader, was likely present when Jesus performed the miracle on the Sabbath. He may have even been one of the ones pointing a finger at Jesus, accusing him of breaking the law. Yet now here we are, just 2 chapters later, and he's falling on his face in the middle of the street, begging and pleading Jesus to heal his daughter.